Let me ask you a question. Which company do you think is the most valuable in the world? I think most people's first reaction would be to name established companies like Apple, Microsoft, or Amazon, those that have a strong presence in our daily lives. And honestly, that's a reasonable answer. But it's time to wake up. In this era of artificial intelligence, the true darling of the times, the hottest company in the eyes of global capital, and the king of the semiconductor industry is Nvidia. It is Nvidia that sits on the throne as the world's most valuable company. And the founder of Nvidia is one of our own, a fellow Chinese, Jensen Huang, who is never seen without his signature leather jacket. So today I'm putting on a leather jacket and channeling Jensen Huang to talk with you all about him and Nvidia. Let's think about what has made this company the #1 in the world today. Okay, let's get started. Jensen Huang was born in Changchun in 1963, later moving with his parents to the United States. His family was actually just an ordinary middle-class household. His father was an engineer and his mother was an elementary school teacher. Jensen studied electrical engineering at Oregon State University. You could say that in terms of background and education, by many people's standards today, there's nothing particularly exceptional about him. Jensen's first job was at AMD. Back then, in the chip industry, Intel was the top dog and AMD was #2. As the saying goes, 30 years on the East Bank, 30 years on the West, but perhaps AMD never imagined that 40 years later, it would still be #2 in the industry. After Jensen Huang had the idea to quit his job and start a business, his mother was very unhappy about it. In her eyes, entrepreneurship was too risky, and it was better to just find a stable job and work honestly. However, his father was very supportive of his decision and said, "Son, let's not listen to your mother. If this is what you want, then go for it." And so Jensen Huang embarked on the path of entrepreneurship. Many years later, in interviews, Jensen also expressed how important his father's support and encouragement were to him. The reason I am so fortunate and have achieved what I have today is entirely thanks to my father's vision and foresight. It was he who brought me to the United States, and because of that, my dreams came true. I am endlessly grateful for this. So, do you ever get the feeling that a person's potential is, to a large extent, determined by the perspective and vision of their parents? In 1993, Nvidia was officially founded. At first, Jensen Huang had a rather narrow market positioning for Nvidia, planning to just make graphics cards and sell them to gaming companies. So the company's initial goal was simply to focus on graphics processors for the gaming market. But at the time, many people actually thought this idea was pretty unambitious. After all, back in those days, the gaming market was nowhere near as large as it is today. Even Jensen Huang himself didn't really know how to clearly explain the potential of the future 3D rendering market to investors when he was raising funds, so naturally, the investors were baffled and thought the whole thing sounded completely unreliable. As a result, Nvidia was rejected by investors quite a few times in its early days, and at one point they almost couldn't even make payroll. But Jensen Huang has never been someone who gives up easily. Through years of hard work and steady progress, his team finally launched a groundbreaking product in 1999, the GeForce R56, which was the world's very first GPU. And you know what? This tiny little thing dramatically boosted the graphics quality of computer games. Gamers were so moved they were practically in tears because they had never played such realistic computer games in their lives. As a result, Nvidia's graphics cards became the savior of the gaming world overnight. This also marked Nvidia's official entry into the global gaming market. However, the good times didn't last long. Around 2008, growth in the gaming graphics card market began to slow down. Nvidia's stock price also plummeted as a result. At the time, many people speculated whether the company had already been left behind by the times. In the face of adversity, however, Jensen Huang decisively changed the business strategy, carried out sweeping reforms of the company's operations, and boldly made strong statements to the market. He said that since Nvidia was able to survive the brutal competition of the past, it would surely be able to seize its share in the markets of the future. "I like being inside you." Jensen Huang realized that CPUs could not only handle graphics rendering, but could also excel in big data and AI computing. So Nvidia began a major transformation, introducing GPUs into the field of artificial intelligence computing. You have to understand that at the time, this was a path no one had ever taken before. If they had deviated even slightly from the right direction, they would have been doomed with no chance of recovery. At the end of 2022, ChatGPT burst onto the scene, marking the beginning of the era of artificial intelligence. It not only brought AI from a science fiction concept into real-world applications, but also sparked an unprecedented AI boom. The launch of ChatGPT also triggered a wave of interest across various industries. The widespread attention to AI applications showed that artificial intelligence had moved from research to mainstream use, marking a new era as it entered daily life. Behind this, the biggest winner was Nvidia. As the saying goes, when you stand at the forefront of an era, you can soar, and that's what happened with Nvidia. There's no doubt that Nvidia is the pig flying highest on the winds of the AI era. Whether it's autonomous driving, medical imaging, or scientific research, many fields have started using Nvidia's GPUs, and the company's market value has skyrocketed as a result. Jensen Huang, as Nvidia's largest individual shareholder, owns 860 million shares of Nvidia. This means that for every dollar Nvidia's stock price rises, he earns $860 million. Over the past year, Nvidia's stock price has risen from $46 per share to $147 per share, an increase of exactly $100. As for how much money Jensen Huang has made, you can do the math yourself. Now let's talk about Nvidia's core business and profit model. First, let's start with their original business, gaming. Gaming is the business that made Nvidia what it is today, and their graphics cards have always been beloved by gamers, especially the GeForce series, which is even hailed as the supercar of the gaming world. When you play games with an Nvidia graphics card, you experience smooth character movements, incredibly realistic lighting effects, and detailed leaf textures. Doesn't it all make you feel like you're truly immersed in the game? There are about 1.8 billion PC gamers worldwide, and if you're a gamer, chances are you're one of their customers. Many of the well-known titles we're familiar with were developed using Nvidia graphics cards, such as Black Myth: Wukong, Elden Ring, as well as our homegrown pride, Genshin Impact. So for many gamers, Nvidia is no longer just a company that makes graphics cards. It has become a kind of faith, an emotional attachment, and a symbol. In terms of market share, Nvidia's gaming graphics cards account for over 80%, which means they've pretty much locked down gamers' wallets. This is a service that provides computing power for artificial intelligence, and it's also their premium money-making business. With the rise of AI, data centers have become treasures in the eyes of major companies. Nowadays, almost no one can do without them. Nvidia's GPUs have become the heart of AI in data centers. GPUs can perform parallel computing, and their data processing capabilities make them the ultimate tool for AI training and deep learning. Out of the world's 7 largest companies, 5 are its clients, and one is itself: Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Tesla, and Meta. Their AI computing all relies on Nvidia's hardware. Today, data center operations have long become Nvidia's largest source of revenue, accounting for nearly 80%, and its market share has reached an impressive 90%. Nvidia also has another hidden goldmine business called professional visualization. Simply put, it provides ultra-high-definition graphics processing capabilities for professional design and scientific research. For example, architects, movie special effects artists, doctors, and others all rely on Nvidia's graphics cards to achieve the visual effects they need. In scientific research fields like weather forecasting and genetics, high-intensity computations rely on Nvidia graphics cards. Although this business is currently a small part of Nvidia's revenue, don't underestimate it. It has great future potential. Nvidia has established a presence in many different fields. In the area of autonomous driving, Nvidia's drive platform can be considered the gold standard coach for automakers. Many car companies, such as Mercedes-Benz, Toyota, and Volvo, rely on this system to develop their autonomous driving technologies. Elon Musk has gone all in, replacing all of Tesla's in-car chips with Nvidia's. The reason is simple: Nvidia's drive system not only calculates routes, but can also recognize obstacles and automatically avoid pedestrians. However, the field of autonomous driving is still developing, and Nvidia's revenue from this area has not yet reached its peak. The company is optimistic about the future market. If autonomous driving becomes common, Jensen Huang could profit in automotive. In summary, Nvidia's main businesses are gaming graphics cards leading gamers and data centers building its AI reputation. Professional visualization covers cutting-edge visual effects, and autonomous driving is breaking into the future market. In addition to its technological leadership in hardware, Nvidia has also built its moat on the foundation of software. CUDA. CUDA is a technology developed by Nvidia that allows graphics cards to do more than just play games. It can also help developers handle extremely complex computational tasks like deep learning. CUDA is tightly integrated with Nvidia's graphics card hardware, forming a complete ecosystem. Even if other companies want to create something similar, it's likely very difficult for them to catch up. Because developers are already used to CUDA, it's like being accustomed to speaking Chinese, and if someone asked you to start learning Spanish from scratch tomorrow, it would be almost impossible. So CUDA has become a technological moat for Nvidia, and competitors have almost no chance of crossing it. There's something worth mentioning here. When CUDA was first launched, the market response was actually pretty lukewarm, and Wall Street wasn't optimistic about it either. It wasn't until 2012 when the godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, who is also this year's Nobel Prize in Physics laureate, suggested to his two students that they use GPUs instead of CPUs to train AI models, that people realized how well the CUDA architecture fit with deep learning. This accidental discovery gradually brought CUDA into the public eye and laid the foundation for Nvidia's core position in the AI era. Now, coming back to the present, Nvidia is about to release its latest quarterly earnings report on November 20th. Tesla, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta are all Nvidia's clients. By analyzing the financial reports of these companies, I've also found that in their most recent earnings, AI-related research and development spending is rapidly increasing. So what does this indicate? Among the world's 7 largest tech companies, the so-called Mega 7, Nvidia, Tesla, Meta, and Amazon are my favorites. They have a very clear distinction from the other 3 in the Mega 7, Apple, Google, and Microsoft. That difference is their extremely high growth potential and the fact that they are always riding the wave of the times. And behind this, there is actually a very simple reason. Their current CEOs are all the original founders of the company. Just think about it. The founders who built the world's 7 largest companies from the ground up are still on the front lines, guiding the future development of these companies. Their vision and perspective are bound to far surpass those of successor CEOs who were promoted step by step from within the management ranks. Musk, Zuckerberg, and Jensen Huang, they are the true core growth engines of their companies. As investors, besides investing in a company's business, you are also investing in people. When you invest in a company, you need to evaluate its leader and its management team. You want to invest in the right people whom you truly believe in. Based on my earlier analysis, Jensen Huang is definitely a visionary leader of our era, someone with unwavering perseverance, grand strategic vision for his company's development, and a keen sense for seizing opportunities in the market. As we come to the end of this video, I too feel a bit envious and would like to offer some words to all the retail investors still striving in the stock market. Sometimes you may feel that you've made the right investment but haven't seen any returns, and that might simply be a matter of timing. All the effort, hardships, and failures you experience along the way, once you reflect seriously and persist, will ultimately become your assets and help propel you towards success. The essence of the stock market is the monetization of your understanding of the market, and the process of accumulating this knowledge is both arduous and lengthy. But when you finally break out of your cocoon and become a butterfly, all the patience you've endured will eventually have its day to erupt. As the saying goes, one day the great rock rises with the morning wind, soaring straight up 90,000 miles.
One of my great advantages is that I have very low expectations. People with very high expectations have very low resilience. And unfortunately, resilience matters in success. I don't know how to teach it to you, except that I hope suffering happens to you.
Okay, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, comment, and follow. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.